Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just gotta gather in. Just to be in here is a huddle, right? We're huddling. All right. So first, we got our gap written measurement, right? We talked about a little bit. We have so far this month to date. Now we're at 3446. That still puts us at 5456 by the end of the month, when we want to get to 9,400, 9,399. But we have gained $400 against what we were behind, right? What we were behind when we started printing these was a little over $4,300. Now it's 90 or 3,900. But if you just look at our actual, I'm trying to get to tier 2, then to consider today a win, we need to type up $400 in gap. That's what we got to do. This person to person too, I'd like to point out, you were off the last 3 days, Kirby, but Mike has now almost sold as much as you. So this week you got to blow him out of the water.
Yeah.
Right? Mike was off most of the weekend too, actually, by the way. He was only here for like 3 hours on Saturday. That was it. He typed up like 3 good agreements. I went from 1 to 7, so that's nice. But we need to bump that up. Now, I talked to these two a little bit, but not you, Miguel, about our SPIF goal. This came up as part of the training that we did. We were waiting for goal numbers, and then nobody was here with me all weekend, so I haven't talked about it yet. But from 2 weeks after the training was done, which was on June 14th, we can grab that real quick. We need to get 33 agreements, and you guys each get a $50 bonus, and sales and accounts teams get a $100 bonus because we're going to be making more of the sales, but you guys can still work to impacting that. Now, we did this on Friday, and you guys set up a couple of goals, but you, Miguel, kind of rushed out of here, and Brad, I forgot to bring it up with you.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you do talking to customers at stops and doing the extra door tags?
The door tags was pretty much a simple thing. That went well. The customers, the one that we talked to ended up not wanting anything right now because they just got into a whole bunch of other stuff. And then the other 2 stops, well, the other stop for me, the customer wasn't home, and then the same with Miguel.
Okay.
So we each talked to 1 out of the 2 because the customer wasn't actually there. There
was one kind of follow-up that I got from in the email stories about how people had done when they started this.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was about a PT who made that same commitment, started talking to customers, and sold a couple of nightstands, like on his first or second delivery after that. It's only a couple of nightstands, but it would be one of the 33 agreements we need. That would count, right?
Yeah,
It's one of the 33 agreements we need to get the bonus.
Yeah.
So that kind of people are doing the stuff, and it does work. Rethinking every interaction into a sales interaction.
Yeah.
It's let's see. Looks like Kirby is probably almost done with that person. So let's so I'll get her goals in just a minute. Brad, what do you get for a behavioral goal for today?
That's what I was still trying to figure out. I was thinking if be about the same as it was before, but kind of just checking to see if anybody needed anything specifically extra that wasn't what they were talking about.
Okay, so like seeing if there's any other needs they have for their home, but that are not specifically
so
tied
like
to
if
the
they're
product
here
you're delivering.
getting a TV or whatever, see if maybe they still need like a washer and dryer or anything else for their home.
Okay, looking for other needs that they might have other than specifically what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about an activity goal?
I figured it would be kind of along the same lines as what we did before, just extra 5 up, 5 down. So do like 20 up, 20 down this time.
That's a lot.
Well, I can just go back to 10.
And that'll work well. I mean, in an apartment.
We got a little bit slower day. That's why I figured a little extra would be okay.
In an apartment complex, that's fine too. But like 40 houses in a neighborhood is stretching it out pretty far.
Okay.
I think that sticking with 10 each direction is probably fine. Miguel, you got for a behavioral goal?
My goal basically today, if we go to a customer's house and the customer that we're gonna go take the stuff to, if there's someone else in the house, like for example his dad that doesn't have stuff, but let's try to sell stuff to him.
Okay.
Or like we did, like you said, we did on our first stop last week. Her dad he's not even with us or working with us, so I tried to sell him like his TV or his ATV for example, but he already had stuff.
Okay, so for behavior, you want to try to like kind of start a conversation with somebody who is not like another adult in the house,
Try to make it
and see
sell.
if there's anything that they'd be interested in. Okay, and for an activity goal?
Activity goal would be a little bit the same as him. Do 505 down in a different apartment complex, I guess, or we're in the same place.
Okay, so like if you're near an apartment complex that isn't where you're actually delivering, do some tags there too.
If it's allowed, yes.
Okay, all right. Gonna pause this and wait for Kirby to come back and get hers. Okay, Kirby.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Got while you were on the phone with that customer, I got behavioral and activity goals from these guys. What are yours?
So my behavior goal is going to be, I'm gonna ask every single person what they would either like next or what they need next. Yes, every single person. On the phone, in person.
Okay, so we want to ask open-ended questions like that, right?
Okay.
Turn it into a sales interaction, and that is a behavior. But let's make sure and that what would you like next is an open-ended question, but let's try to make sure that we're turning it into a conversation with the customer like we talked about at the training.
Yeah.
More open-ended specifically for what their needs are and not super focused on, well, what do I have that you want next?
Right.
Or like question, a good open-ended question for that could be, what else are you still missing in your home? Right?
Okay.
Something more personalized to the customer, so it's more about the customer than about our product.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Think you could do it that way?
Yeah.
Awesome. What about an activity goal?
I was planning on making at least 25 sales calls today.
Okay.
And I was gonna do, I don't know what time, probably between 3 and 4.
Okay.
And I was gonna do customers with 1 active agreement.
Customers with 1 active agreement between
Yes.
3 and 4 o'clock, at least 25 of them.
Yes.
Okay. What's your actual goal for today? Sales goal?
We need $400 in gap, so a lot. Guess I'll do 3 and 4.
So 4 agreements? Now the number of
Or
customers
5.
isn't as important, just the actual agreement number.
The actual agreement number?
Yeah.
I don't know. How much is $400 in gap?
Our average agreement's about $100.
About $100. So at least 4 or 5 agreements then.
How many do you think? You gonna say 4?
Sure.
Gonna go with 4? Alright. We'll go for 4 new agreements today. Alright, for me, for my behavioral goal, I'm going to ask open-ended questions to turn all these non-calls we're doing and call in for payment, and people calling back, try to turn those into a sales opportunity, right? And then for a specific sales activity, I've got 3 now people that I have talked to and gotten follow-up information over the last few days, and at least 1 additional online lead. I'm gonna call them today. I'll call them sometime between like 1 and 2. Do that. I'll do 1 and 2. You'll do 2 and 3, and I'll go for at least 3 new agreements today. All right. Any other questions? Anything anybody has about the day?
No, I think that's good.
Awesome. Let's go have an awesome day.
All right.
Yay.
Woo!